Live from Red Zone Weather, this is a severe weather alert.
Northern Clark County yet again under a tornado warning on this Wednesday evening. This one going to be valid until 6 o'clock. And if you are in Thomasville, this is coming straight for you. City of Thomasville needs to get tornado sheltered right now as we have a possible tornado coming into Thomasville at the present time. This is a brand new polygon that has just popped on, and you can see this narrow corridor that's now included in this active tornado warning, valid until 6 o'clock local time. We need to get out our wonderful Red Zone Weather app alert system for our friends in Northern Clark County. Again, a new circulation that has developed in Central Clark County is very near Alabama Highway 54, coming into areas near Thomasville at the present time. And so what we are telling you, if you're in Thomasville, areas near and just north of Fulton, near the Thomasville Industrial Park, near the schools, the high school, middle school, elementary school in the city of Thomasville, you need to be sheltered. Same thing on the north side of town, out towards the funeral home, Walmart, David's Catfish House. All of those areas need to be getting to your tornado safe place right now, as we have yet another tornado warning for Thomasville on this Wednesday evening. It has been a long day thus far, and unfortunately, we have got a long way to go in what is a tornado outbreak across the great state of Alabama. Numerous tornado warnings in place, and it looks like this is going to be a deal that lasts well into the overnight hours. And so let's talk about the warning, who's involved in this brand new tornado warning polygon. And this is going to be, again, a tornado warning for the city of Thomasville and Northern Clark County, valid until 6 o'clock local time. So again, 6 o'clock is how long you have. This is going to be a situation where we need you to take action and get to that tornado safe place right now, as we have this tornado warning in Northern Clark County. Right now, the possible tornado is down here toward Tallahassee Springs and out towards Opine, but it actually is going to move into the city of Thomasville. And look, unlike the last two, this one is making a beeline for the city of Thomasville. So it can't be stressed enough. Let's go over to the iPad and we'll show you this better vantage point. Possible tornado is right here, and I mean that thing is going to cut right through Thomasville. If it's down, in other words, if the tornado is touching the surface of the earth, we are going to know in about 5 to 10 minutes, because this is going to go right over the city of Thomasville. Call someone if you know anyone in Thomasville, Alabama. You let them know that there could be a tornado on their doorstep in a matter of moments in Northern Clark County. Grove Hill is okay. The polygon is right in through here. This is Grove Hill. This is Fulton. If you're in Fulton or point south, you are okay. But for folks in Thomasville and also folks in western Wilcox counties, Sunny South, Pine Hill, Yellow Bluff, areas near the McMillan-Bloedel paper mill, also areas near Atkinson, right here on Alabama Highway 5. You are involved in this active tornado warning that continues until 6 o'clock. Current time is 5:26 p.m., and it has been a day, to say the absolute least, across the deep south. Let's go over to the regional radar view, LD2, please, sir. And we'll show you that across the state, we've got numerous tornado warnings that continue, not just in Northern Clark, but also in many other communities across central Alabama. I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4 tornadic supercells currently in progress, in addition to all of the cells that we had earlier. So this has been a high-risk day that has verified, unfortunately, with lots of damage across Alabama. Let's go back over to LD1, and we'll turn on our high-resolution radar view here. And this is a situation where you have the bulk of the rain and even the large hail in this part of the storm, and then on the back flank, that's where you could have this possible tornado right in that zone. We'll go over to the velocity view, and we'll actually go back to the base velocity, which I think is going to be a better vantage point. And if you joined us in earlier rounds of coverage earlier today, you know that unfortunately this part of West Alabama is not served very well by the local radar that sits down in Mobile, which is about 100 miles to the south. And so the radar beam is hitting this thunderstorm at about 8,000 feet above the surface of the earth. And unfortunately, that doesn't give us a good view of the lower levels of the atmosphere. atmosphere. And so, yes, there may be a tornado down. There's a very high probability of that with that particular signature, but there also may not. We just don't have a way of confirming it at this point. And what I would tell you, if you are in the city of Thomasville, that signature you notice just ramped up right there, be in your safe place. We'll zoom in. Thomasville has really been the local hotspot today. And again, just getting pretty tight. Here's Midway. You've got Alabama Highway 154 right here. So absolutely no driving on Alabama Highway 154 this evening. Right now anyway, from Thomasville all the way back over to Coffeyville. You can't be traveling. There's a possible tornado. This is Tallahassee Springs Road right in through here. If you live there or at Midway, which is the community just to the west of Thomasville, be sheltered. I can't stress it enough. If you know someone in this area, call them, text them, tag them in the video comments below, and let them know that they are now in the danger zone, the red zone, the tornado warning zone for Thomasville. Just thinking about the city of Thomasville, this is US Highway 43, Alabama Highway 5 runs right in through here. You've got the railroad, which is the Norfolk Southern Railroad, which runs through the heart of downtown Thomasville, right there near the post office. Also back up to areas like the Walmart and areas near Sonic, back down the 43 corridor to, you've got what was United Security Bank right in through here. South of town, you've got the schools, elementary school, middle school, high school, all Thomasville branded. You need to be in that safe place if you live near any of those landmarks in the city of Thomasville. From north side all the way back down to Springfield and areas near the industrial park. This is Dummy Line Road right in through here, and that could be a nasty tornado just to the west of Dummy Line Road, or perhaps near Dummy Line Road, near Alabama Highway 54, coming into areas near Midway in the city of Thomasville. Let's actually show you the wide view across the entire region quickly, because we've had this corridor over in West Alabama that has really been problematic today in terms of having numerous tornado warnings and several confirmed tornadoes. It's been a day where when we've had these warnings, they have almost immediately verified, and that is what you would expect on a day like today when you have a high risk. I had several questions. Let's go over to the graphics briefly, because again, folks in Thomasville should be sheltered. And I had a question about this a moment ago. Yes, we now have part of this level 5 out of 5 high risk, super rare. Last time it happened in any part of the state of Alabama was back on April 28th of 2014. It's happening again today, March 17th, 2021, a day that's going to be with us for quite some time in terms of memories because of active tornado warnings. Northern Washington, Choctaw, Marengo, Wilcox, Northern Clark now blanketed in that highest severe weather risk. And that gives credence to exactly what we're seeing. Let's go back over to LD1 in that we have this active tornado warning for Northern Clark County. And by the way, watch those comments, because this thing is going to be coming into Thomasville imminently, and we don't want you to try to take pictures. Don't try to do that. If you are in Thomasville or anywhere close to the city of Thomasville, you need to be taking action to protect your life and property. On a day like today, a high-risk day, we need you to be in that tornado-safe place. But for folks who are south of Thomasville, not involved in the warning, especially in communities like Grove Hill or even Fulton, you got a lot of lightning, lots of rain, but from Fulton and points south, you are not involved in that active tornado warning. And so if you want to have a peek outside to see what it looks like to your north, I would imagine skies are pretty nasty looking up towards Thomasville right now, associated with this tornado warned storm coming into the heart of the city of Thomasville right now. Let's go back over to our iPad source, and this is the high resolution velocity product. We'll put this in motion and show you exactly what triggered this tornado warning. The Weather Service tried they issued a severe thunderstorm warning, and the thinking was at the time that that might suffice, but unfortunately, just like all the other storms today, this ramped up very quickly and is now likely producing a tornado near or just to the west of Thomasville in the northern part of Clark County, perhaps near Alabama Highway 154 on the western side of town. And so that's what triggered this tornado warning. We'll zoom in so I can give you a better vantage point. Again, looking at northern Clark County here really tightly. And just to kind of set the scene, we're looking at a mesocyclone on radar. In other words, here is your counterclockwise circulation doing that. So that's your couplet. And this is now probably over the city of Thomasville. You see the word Thomasville. Keep in mind, that is only one point. In other words, that's the downtown area. This is really the entirety of the Thomasville area. Right there is where the road splits at the funeral home, right by the Walmart and the Burger King and areas near that Mexican restaurant and the automotive dealership. Right there where Alabama Highway 5 comes into US Highway 43 on the north side of Thomasville. All of those areas should be sheltered as this thing is making a beeline. I'm talking straight for that intersection right there by David's Catfish House and also at the Walmart there on the north side of Thomasville. But let me not be so specific. If you are in Thomasville, this thing means business. And it could very well be producing a tornado anywhere from the southern side of town out towards the industrial park, all the way back up to where the road splits. And ultimately, this is going to be an issue most likely for Atchison, Sunny South, and ultimately Wilcox counties. Pine Hill, areas along the Highway 5 corridor. You've got the Golden Dragon new processing facility right in through here in western Wilcox County. That plant, in addition to the Thomasville Industrial Park, should be implementing that tornado safety plan right now. Don't play with this. This is a big deal and something that we need you to take action for. Let's go over to LD1 and let's check out these storms down in Washington County as well, because again, we're tracking the possible tornado coming into Thomasville, but in addition, we're looking at these storms in Washington County that are going to cross the Tombigbee River ultimately into Clark County. And clearly, the environment for tornadoes is more conducive the farther north you go from our local area. In fact, I was looking at some of the parameters in the brief break we had a little bit ago when we were without warnings. And the violent tornado parameter, VTP, you probably have heard me talk about the significant tornado parameter. VTP is a little bit different. Let's go over to my MacBook if we can, please. Because again, tracking this tornado in areas near Thomasville, Alabama, look at this. The VTP, the violent tornado parameter, is at a 7. Now keep in mind, a significant value in this particular parameter would be a 1 or a 2. This thing's at a 7. And by the way, I note that this is maxed out over Clark and Marengo counties, right where we have this active tornado warning happening. So let's go back over to LD1 as we continue to track what could be a significant tornado coming into areas near Thomasville, Alabama, actually at Thomasville right now. And let me check with some of my sources on the ground there and see if we have any information to pass along. Just looking at this, again, pardon me if I go silent just for a minute. Bruce, have you seen anything in the way of damage from this particular storm? We've obviously been tracking several storms today. Have you seen anything from this in the comments that would suggest that that is a good thing? I have seen videos of a tornado that was down in Silas. You can check out the Red Zone Weather app. I can't show you that here on Facebook Live or on YouTube, but you can go to the free Red Zone Weather app and check that out to see that tornado that happened actually over in Choctaw County, Alabama. In fact, I'll show you on the maps. Silas is right here. This is Thomasville. This is Clark County. Wilcox County is here. Possible tornado is at Thomasville, and this is going to scrape the county line basically between Marengo and Wilcox counties. Possible tornado is here at Thomasville right now. Lots of lightning, lots of thunder. Maybe a tornado is happening right now at Thomasville. We don't have confirmation of that, but this cell is strong, severe, and it could be producing a tornado on top of Thomasville right now, coming into areas near Atchison and also Sunny South. Ultimately, this is going to be a problem in about 10 minutes, 5 minutes really, for Pine Hill and areas near the intersection of Alabama Highway 10 and also Alabama Highway 5, which is right in through here. Also, we note that this does include areas near the paper mill, the large paper mill there in Yellow Bluff, Alabama, formerly known as the McMillan Blodell Paper Mill. I think Weyerhaeuser owns that now, I think, but it's a large paper mill that sits on the banks of the Alabama River. From there, back to the west, all the way back over to Pine Hill and the county line with Marengo there, all of those areas in western Wilcox counties county, I should say, is now involved in an active tornado warning. Let's go back over to the iPad because, again, this is a classic tornado signature on velocity. Look at all the lightning. You see all those little blips at lightning strikes. We have had a ton of lightning over the last few minutes in northern Clark County. And I would not be shocked on the north side of this. Let's actually go back over to the reflectivity view. This could be a core of this thunderstorm producing large hail, potentially up to the size of a quarter. So very significant hail could be falling on the northern side of Thomasville. The hail core is going to be on the north side. In other words, just displaced a bit from the possible tornado, which is on the south side of this extremely dangerous supercell thunderstorm, basically right over Thomasville, coming into areas near Atkinson and also Sunny South, Pine Hill as well. This one is going to miss Dixon's Mills and Sweetwater to the south. So again, here's Sweetwater, here's Dixon's Mills, this is Alabama Highway 10 up here, this is US Highway 43 and Alabama Highway 5 right here. You've got the Norfolk Southern Railroad, which runs right in through here from Pine Hill back down to Thomasville. If you live in any of those areas in Clark or Wilcox counties, we need you to be in that tornado safe place right now. You should have been there about 15 minutes ago when the warning was issued, but perhaps you're just now seeing this video and you are in Thomasville or points to the northeast, out here towards Atkinson, Sunny South, the Golden Dragon, facility, whatever it is they do, they're near Pine Hill. Those areas should be in their tornado safe place immediately. Don't wait. Again, this is a situation where we have this supercell thunderstorm in an environment that is extremely ripe and extremely conducive for storms today. Let's go back over to the big radar, LD1. And again, the concern is for northern Clark County. I feel like I've said that 500 times today as we have had just storm after storm after storm for northern Clark. But that has been where the corridor of storms has been. We've also had tornadoes back in Mississippi and also several confirmed tornadoes in parts of central Alabama. We had one in Autauga County, northwest of Prattville earlier. We also had a confirmed tornado in the eastern part of Tuscaloosa County out near Brookwood, north of the Mercedes plant there. And also we had a confirmed tornado in parts of Jefferson County about 30 minutes ago. So this tornado outbreak is nowhere near over. And again, we're tracking this possible tornado in the northern part of Clark County. The good news is this will be out of our area into Wilcox County in about 5 minutes or so. And I know that there are many folks watching in northern Clark that probably are doing the right thing, having your helmet on, keeping yourself safe in that tornado safe place. And I would encourage you, if you are in Thomasville, hang out in that tornado safe place for the next 5 minutes and I'll be able to give you an all clear. It's not going to be long. You're not going to be in that shelter much longer, but let's keep it safe and err on the course of least regret here. On the side of the course of least regret, I should say, and we'll get you through this. So again, watching this very dangerous thunderstorm in the northeastern corner of Clark County over the city of Thomasville, we can at this point give you a tornado all clear, at least now the imminent threat has ended for areas like McIntyre and Tallahassee Springs. Tallahassee Springs points back to the southwest that were previously involved in this tornado warning polygon. You are now out of the polygon and we will give you an all clear as the threat has ended. New tornado warning to pass along. This is going to be for Marengo County. Same storm, by the way. What happens here, if you are in Choctaw, Clark, or Wilcox counties, all of these counties belong to the National Weather Service in Mobile. In other words, anytime there's a tornado warning issued for those three counties and points south, NWS Mobile does it, an office at the Mobile Regional Airport. But if you cross into Marengo County, this becomes the territory of responsibility for the National Weather Service in Birmingham. And what NWS Birmingham has just done, they have triggered a tornado warning, and I think it's a good call here based on the trajectory for southeastern Marengo County. And so what I would tell you, it looks like this is going to pass well to the southeast of Dixon's Mills, but Dixon's Mills is technically in the polygon. And so if you are at Dixon's Mills or points just to the east of there in Marengo County along Alabama Highway 10 or Alabama Highway 25, which is that straight gray line right there, we would encourage you to get to your tornado safe place as a course of least regret. It looks like the core of this will pass very near the intersection of Highway 25 and Highway 5, which is right there just to the west of Pine Hill. Same thing in Pine Hill. Can't be stressed enough. This is going to be a direct issue for you if you are in Pine Hill, Alabama. This has nothing to do, by the way, with Camden or areas up here as of this moment for Miller's Ferry. Miller's Ferry was the community that was hit back on March the 1st of 2007 by an EF4 tornado. And I'm not saying this one's going to be anything like that, but I am saying on that trajectory, this could be an issue for areas out towards Miller's Ferry and the reservoir, the lake out here north of the dam, in areas north of Camden. Looks like this is going to miss Camden off to the west. But again, for our friends in Thomasville, give it 2 more minutes and I'll be able to give you an all clear in northern Clark. Let's actually get back over to the velocity view. Bruce, if you'll take me to the iPad, please, sir. We'll show you that the core of this is now really on the northern side of Thomasville. And with that signature, it's broad somewhat, but I have to say, again, you're looking at this signature where it's 8,000 feet above the surface of the earth. So this is not the best vantage point for looking at the surface related, in other words, where the tornado affects the earth, people, that's the big deal, and we just don't have the best view because the radar beam is hitting the thunderstorm so high in the atmosphere. You know, ideally we would put a radar in every county, but obviously that's not going to happen because they cost millions of dollars. And so the best we have is the local radar down in Mobile, which tells us that there is broad circulation at minimum, could be tighter circulation in the lower levels, and thus that's why you still have a tornado warning that continues for northern Clark County, specifically for Thomasville, and points back to the northeast. Western Wilcox County also included. Pine Hill, also areas near Atkinson, Sunny South, areas here, even Dixon's Mills is included in this polygon, but it looks like the core risk of this particular tornado is going to happen a bit to the east of Dixon's Mills along Alabama Highway 10. This thing's moving just like that. All right, and don't get so caught up in the specifics. This thing may wobble a little bit to the right or to the left, and that's why we have these polygons in place that really cover a good bit of land to help us know where these storms are moving. Let's go over to the big radar. Let's go to LD2, and again, tracking a very significant situation in that we have an ongoing tornado outbreak across the Deep South. Let's count the warnings that I'm seeing, and help me out. If I miss one, please holler. You got a tornado warning here in Mississippi. That's going to be to the southeast of Jackson. We are tracking this tornado that's at Thomasville, Alabama, about to move into Wilcox and Marengo counties. You've also got a supercell thunderstorm right out ahead of it at Uniontown, which is there very near the US Highway 80 corridor. This is to the west of Selma. That includes the northeastern corner of Marengo, northwestern Dallas, and southern Perry County. We also have another storm in Chilton County. That's very near Maplesville at the moment. We'll zoom into that particular storm, and those storms are pretty isolated in nature. And so you got one storm here that's about to cross the Coosa River there on the western side of Coosa County. This is Chilton. You actually do have a part of Shelby County also involved in this tornado warning, and southern Talladega County as well. Chilton County, though, tornado near Maplesville. That's going to come up towards areas near Clanton over the next few minutes. And last but not least, there also is a long track supercell that actually was back here in Tuscaloosa about 2 hours ago. It has now moved over here north of Jefferson County into Blount County. So that could be producing a tornado Aniana right there. That's Aniana. And so Blount County also under a warning at this point. Let's go back over to LD1 because some good news to pass along. It looks like, let me look at the signature one more time. The core of this storm is now kind of at the apex of these three counties. You have Clark County down here. This is Marengo County. This is Wilcox County here. Pine Hill sits right there. You've got Sunny South, the Golden Dragon. You've also got areas near Atkinson. This also is going to be coming into areas near Alabama Highway 5 and Alabama Highway 25. Where those three counties come together just to the north of Thomasville is where this possible tornado is. And so very heavy rain, lots of lightning, lots of thunder, and maybe a tornado. That's the situation that we have as we have an active tornado warning that continues for the next few minutes. for northern Clark. All right, now I'm going to read you this update. We just got a detailed update in from our friends at the National Weather Service. The main portion of the first round of severe thunderstorms, in other words, these supercells, is exiting exiting the northwest area currently. This is not a definite end to the tornado risk over the region, as there are still currently two north to south oriented boundaries that are still initiating deep convection. Any of these could spin up quickly and produce a tornado over the next few hours. So a lot of nerd talk there. Let me kind of break this down for you. Here's our local area, and so far what's happening here, you've got a cap in the atmosphere, an inversion level, that has held these storms in Monroe, Conecuh, and Escambia counties to well under severe limits thus far. But what the Weather Service is indicating is that that cap might break at any moment, and some of these storms have the potential to become severe, specifically in the hours before sunset. Looking down at my watch, sunset is at 6:58 local time. Current time is 5:48, so we got about an hour and 10 minutes until sunset. And then maybe, just maybe, we will all get a break from this nasty severe weather. Maybe it will begin to subside for a bit, but I am concerned as we go back over to LD2 about round number 2. All right, we've had round number 1 over West Alabama, and it's been quite intense with multiple confirmed large tornadoes today. This is round number 2, and you can see that we have several severe thunderstorm warnings in here for parts of Mississippi and Louisiana. We'll zoom in real tight on this, and look at that reflectivity. I'm not so sure that actually is some weird data going on. I don't think the storms are actually that strong. There's no warning in place down there in southern Louisiana. But nonetheless, this is your round of storms that's going to mark the end. Yes, the end. We are looking forward to the end of severe weather that is going to cross our region from west to east in the overnight hours. In other words, all this mess is going to move across our region. And as it does so, when that line comes across your specific hometown, we'll be able to give you an all clear, and we are done for the rest of the week into the weekend. We've got nice weather days ahead starting tomorrow afternoon. It's going to be quite nice this weekend with highs in the 60s, plenty of sunshine Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But before we get there, dealing with a tornado situation in northern Clark County as we go back over to LD1, because of this. This is your supercell thunderstorm. Possible tornado is very near Pine Hill. And so with that said, if you are in Thomasville, you can definitely come out of that tornado hiding place at this point, as the tornado danger has clearly passed into Wilcox and the far southeastern corner of Marengo County, very near that intersection of Alabama Highway 5 and Alabama Highway 25 right here. I wouldn't be shocked if you've got at least dime to nickel size hail in this region with this particular thunderstorm that's lifting off to the northeast. And I look for another tornado warning probably to be needed for parts of northern Wilcox counties out towards Catherine, out towards Miller's Ferry, north of Camden. This is going to miss Camden well to the west, it looks like. But again, for folks in Thomasville and really all of Clark County at this point, we can give you a tornado all clear for now. There may be others on the way. And speaking of that, let's actually go back over to the iPad, because with that said, I just saw on the reflectivity view, and I'm telling you again, that could be another storm that develops over the next few minutes. So we're going to have to keep it here, unfortunately, as we have yet another storm in Clark County that could be approaching some more unstable air, and that potentially could be our next tornadic storm. We're going to be here a while, all right? This is not a situation, unfortunately, that's going to go away anytime soon, and that thing continues to strengthen. So, again, for folks in Thomasville, you get a break for now. I may be putting you back in that tornado safe place in about 5 to 10 minutes, but for now, if you are in Thomasville, I would encourage you, take a break, come out of the storm shelter, grab something to eat, grab something to drink, pop some popcorn, do what you need to do as we're going to get through this severe weather event. Let's go back over to LD1. And again, this storm in southern Clark County is now taking precedence because look what's happening. You see how it's developing here? This southern flank right in through here is what you're seeing. It's just kind of a train of storms, and they seem to be developing in a more significant way once they're coming into Clark County. Now, obviously, these storms don't know where these political boundaries are, but there seems to be some type of boundary that these storms seem to be crossing and becoming much more strong and severe. And so I wouldn't be shocked over the next few minutes if we have another warning for this thing that's very near Toddtown at this point. We'll zoom into southern Clark County. There's Toddtown, here's Salitpa, raining like cats and dogs at Salitpa. This storm is under severe limits for now, but it probably is producing gusty winds up around 40 miles per hour, very near the Tombigbee River, near Salitpa, coming into areas like Zimco and Grove Hill over the next 5 to 10 minutes. And the couplet on that thing sure does seem to be getting more strong. So again, I don't see a reason for us really to go away if we're just going to have to come back on in just a few minutes. And I say that to say, you know, the folks in northern Clark County have really had a time today. Clearly, the tornado risk is now out of northern Clark. It is in far southeastern Marengo and far western Wilcox, very near Pine Hill, and also near the intersections of Alabama Highway 10 and Alabama Highway 5 there at Pine Hill. Working its way off to the northeast away from our area. So it should be, or I should say, it should go without saying, but this will not be an issue for Monroe, Conecuh, or Butler counties. This thing is moving to the northeast and is moving away from Monroe County. But the next storm of concern is this thing that's crossing the Tombigbee River in Washington and Clark counties, very near St. Stephen's at this point. And Bruce, have you seen anything in the way of damage thus far today? Or over the last few minutes, I should say. Any power outages? Hey, by the way, if your power is out in Clark County specifically, but also Washington and Choctaw counties, let us know in the comments below. If you know of someone that's lost their power, that is always helpful for us to be able to pass along in what is a very significant tornado outbreak that continues across the Deep South. I see that the Storm Prediction Center, in fact, we will, as soon as I get this up, let's take this full, because this is normally what I would be posting in the app, but anytime we're in live severe weather coverage, you know that the app coverage kind of goes out the window and you can watch the live video, and so can't do two things at once. That's why you see the lull in activity in the app, other than those wonderful automated updates. Yeah, and I see that the Storm Prediction Center is, they are going to issue another tornado watch. So let's go back over to LD2, and I'll put this in motion while we do some housekeeping things in terms of the coverage here. Again, a new tornado watch is going to be needed, and I would bet that that's going to include more of our local counties. That's going to be issued most likely before 7 o'clock. Current time is 5:55 p.m. Probably going to see that being issued in the next little bit. I also want to note that we do have a new flash flood warning that has just been issued for parts of Clark and Wilcox counties. So, don't drive, all right? Don't drive if you don't have to. In Clark, in Wilcox, in Choctaw, or Washington counties. The situation right now is just too dangerous. So much water, some damage. We know that damage happened back here in Silas. We also believe that there has been damage in areas near Woods Bluff in the northwestern corner of Clark County. Storm chasers observed what appeared to be a large, violent tornado in this area about an hour ago. Not the cell we're tracking now. It's long gone now, but nonetheless, you had a large, violent tornado most likely in this general region of Clark County that moved very near Sweetwater. I have heard of no specific damage in that area as of now, but I wouldn't be shocked if we hear more over the next little bit. Take me back over to the high-res LD1, please, sir, because I do want to check on the velocity on this. And that particular signature right there, there's some wind in this thunderstorm, no doubt. When I say wind, I'm talking gusty winds, perhaps as high as 40 to 50 miles per hour in this case. But that's not exactly a classic couplet or classic tornado signature. Yeah, there we go. And that does remain fairly broad as of now, which is a good thing. Again, The storm that we came on the air for about, 45 minutes ago now, has now moved into the western part of Wilcox County. It's very near, or Wilcox County, I should say, very near Pine Hill. And also this is straddling the border of Marengo County as well. That's where you have a tornado warning that does continue for the next 45 minutes or so. But for again, for our friends in Clark County, we can give you a tornado all clear for now. There may be more tornadoes in the hours ahead. And let's actually look at the main batch of storms that's going to move across our area and ultimately end all of this severe weather mess in the overnight hours. You can see that this line of storms is getting its act together, unfortunately, becoming severe. Look at the lightning output. Watch the lightning output on this over the last hour. You can see these storms really developing here, coming into areas near Interstate 59 in Mississippi. These are now severe thunderstorms, and I wouldn't be shocked if we saw a few tornado warnings over the next few hours associated with that main batch of storms coming into areas near Hattiesburg, near Laurel, also in all parts of southeast Mississippi under the gun from what could be a significant damaging wind threat. So we've had tornadoes today, we've had flash flooding, we've had large hail. What we have not had yet are damaging winds, and this could be a significant damaging wind risk, and that's why the National Weather Service in Jackson has posted numerous severe thunderstorm warnings for this line of storms. You even see some supercells out ahead of the main line that ultimately could be problematic for west central Alabama, Livingston, Tuscaloosa, Aliceville over the next 2 hours. Our main focus over the next few hours is going to continue to be this corridor in West Alabama that could continue to be sort of a hot spot for developing tornadoes. We also want to note a shower happening very near Frisco City, Mexie. This is going to come into areas in Monroe County near the Alabama Highway 41 corridor to the west of Monroeville. That storm is below severe limits. In fact, I don't really see any lightning associated with that. There also have been some showers near Atmore along Alabama Highway 21. You've also got a shower coming into areas near Alaflora, Roberts, areas out near Parker Bridge in the eastern part of Escambia County, Alabama, and also several showers at this point in Washington County. These are under severe limits, but I'm concerned. You see what's happening here. This is a baby shower that's, in Washington County, but what's happening, I'll put this in motion so you can get a better view of this. These showers are rapidly becoming thunderstorms, see, just like that, and they're becoming stronger for whatever reason when they are crossing the Tombigbee River into Clark County. So again, for our friends in Clark County, there's no active tornado threat as of this particular moment. There is a nasty thunderstorm happening just to the south of Coffeyville, just to the north of Jackson, out near Toddtown, and areas here near Silitpa, coming into areas near Zimco and US Highway 84. This is going to be a new warning for our local area, and we're going to have to keep it here because this is a new severe thunderstorm warning that's about to be issued for this area right in through here in Clark County. This is going to include areas just to the north of Grove Hill, same areas that have been under the gun. In fact, this is including Grove Hill at this point. Thomasville, Grove Hill, Fulton, Dickinson, Springfield, also areas near Zimco, Silitpa involved in this new severe thunderstorm warning. And this is going to be on the board. Let's see what time this thing expires, until 6:45 local time. So current time is now 6 o'clock. This warning goes until 6:45 p.m. for northern Clark County. We need to get out a Red Zone Weather app alert for this. If you are involved in our Red Zone Weather app system, you know that none of the alerts are automated. They are all handcrafted and sent right here by me, even as I'm on the air with you. This is a severe thunderstorm warning for Thomasville, Grove Hill, and northern Clark County, and this is going to be on the board until 6:45 p.m. And so we just sent that out. Let's kind of get in there and look and see why this has been triggered. I'll tell you why it's been triggered. This thing probably is going to end up being a tornado warning storm in about 15 minutes as it moves towards the communities of Chilton and Fulton in Clark County. It looks like the core of this may pass. I mean, it's going to be a close call just to the west of Grove Hill along US Highway 84. And as of now, there's no active tornado warning for Clark, but another one could be issued shortly. We've been kind of monitoring this over the last few minutes. And I also should mention that the Storm Prediction Center continues to indicate that we could have strong tornadoes well into the evening hours. And so what I want to do, if you will take me over to my MacBook, please, we'll show you this new mesoscale discussion that has just been issued by the Storm Prediction Center. And I realize this is kind of a technical looking, map, but you can read the words. The risk for tornadoes, a couple of which could become strong, is expected to continue and increase more through the middle part of the evening. And that mesoscale discussion is basically from I-65 points west. It does include parts of Escambia, Conecuh, Butler, Crenshaw, and Montgomery counties. But again, same areas that have been under the gun over the last several hours, more severe weather on the way. And keep in mind, the Storm Prediction Center, they are the best scientists on God's green earth for tornado forecasting. And so I trust them more than I trust anyone. Let's go back over to LD1. And we'll show you that the reason we came on about an hour ago was because of this cell right in through here that's now near and just north of Pine Hill in western Wilcox counties. What's happened? We've got a new cell firing back to the southwest that has prompted a new severe thunderstorm warning for northern Clark County. This is a severe thunderstorm warning at this point and not a tornado warning. But we're keeping it here because I wouldn't be surprised over the next few minutes if you got a new tornado warning in areas right in through here, perhaps near and just south of Thomasville, including areas potentially near Fulton, Dickinson, also areas out near Springfield, areas along the railroad, which runs from Thomasville back down to Watley. All those areas, I'm just telling you, get ready because you may have a tornado warning imminently over the next 10 minutes or so, which is why we are keeping it right here and not going anywhere just yet. So because we don't have any active tornado warnings, I want to pan across the state. Bruce, if you'll take me over to LD2, please. We'll show you kind of the wide view across the state to say that we still have numerous tornado warnings going on. I see a tornado warning in effect just to the southeast of Tupelo. You've also got one here in the northern part of Blount County. That's south of Huntsville. That's east of Coleman. That's north of Birmingham. And that particular warning, I can look and tell you, that actually is north of now Aniana in the northern part of Blount. You've also got a separate area of supercells prompting tornado warnings for parts of Chilton, Shelby, Coosa, and Talladega counties. They're in central Alabama, north of Montgomery. You also have this other train of supercell thunderstorms in our local area extending up into Wilcox and Dallas counties, where we have a tornado warning in effect for areas near and just to the east of Uniontown, west of Selma along US Highway 80. This is southern Perry County right here. This is Dallas County, and this is northern Wilcox County. Miller's Ferry, areas near the lake and the reservoir there north of Camden. Those areas involved in an active tornado warning at this point. Again, we're here for this severe thunderstorm warning with the assumption that there probably will be a new tornado warning issued very soon. We'll go back over to our local radar here, and I tell you that storm line back here in Mississippi continues to organize. Damaging straight line winds will certainly be a concern in the overnight hours as that continues to move our way. We'll zoom into northern Clark, and I tell you, I've said northern Clark just about more than anything else this afternoon. If you're in northern Clark County, it's been a day. It's been a long day with numerous tornado warnings and perhaps another one about to be issued because of this. This is a supercell thunderstorm capable of producing large hail and gusty winds, currently situated in areas near and just to the east, or excuse me, just to the west of Grove Hill. You've got Zimco right here, Chilton is here, this is Alabama Highway 54, Salitpa is down here, and so the core of the severe thunderstorm threat has passed Salitpa. We'll zoom in real tight and take you over to the velocity view, and right in through there, that is mighty, mighty suspicious. Grove Hill is here. Your bypass is right in through here. And this is I'm talking a mile, maybe to the west of there, along the US Highway 84 corridor, which runs right there all the way back over to Coffeyville. I would tell you as a course of least regret, no travel is advised at this point on US Highway 84 from Grove Hill back over to Coffeyville, and no travel at this point on US Highway 43 from Grove Hill back up to Thomasville. That is a strengthening signature, but I think the Weather Service made the right call in issuing a severe thunderstorm warning and not a tornado warning, because if we put this in motion, I think we can kind of see over the last few frames, that is not a classic couplet. That's more of a damaging wind situation. And perhaps, this is a speculation at this point, perhaps we may be seeing the first signs of less veering of the wind with height. In other words, less helicity being in place over our area, shifting off to the north with that low-level jet that ultimately is going to move to the north out of our area. And so, no doubt about it, you may get damaging straight-line winds in Grove Hill and areas near Zimco and even Fulton and Springfield over the next few minutes. But again, it's a severe thunderstorm warning and not a tornado warning. I have to say that signature is behaving a bit differently than the previous two that moved through those same areas about an hour ago. This looks more like a damaging wind type threat, and the front flank of that would be right in through there. There's a new frame. Let's see if we can go back over to the iPad, please, sir. I think we'll get a better vantage point of that. Yeah, and again, right in through here, that may be kind of the leading edge. There may be a wall cloud right now, or a shelf cloud, I should say, coming into areas near Grove Hill. Certainly wouldn't be surprised to see that at this point, looking off to the west as the core of this nasty thunderstorm moves in and ultimately moves just to the northwest of Grove Hill. Storm motion is moving off to the northeast. And so, with that said, I think what we're going to do is, again, you've got a severe thunderstorm warning in Clark County. Yes, the weather is nasty, but at the moment, you do not, I repeat, you do not have a tornado warning for any part of Clark County, which certainly is a good thing. Let's check our NWS chat feed again. And I see we have a new tornado warning for Wilcox County in central Alabama. We'll show you that briefly. That's going to be a continuation of this. That was the cell that we initially came on the air for about an hour ago. And this is going to be very near Miller's Ferry. All right, so if you're at Miller's Ferry, a new tornado warning has been posted for your area. If you know someone at Miller's Ferry, you need to call them, let them know that they are now involved in an active tornado warning. And they need to take shelter immediately, absolutely right now. Just getting in some new information from emergency managers. Let's go back over to LD1 as I tell you this, because this is something that we kind of need to show you geographically where I'm talking about. Right in through here, you have a community called Campbell, Alabama, and EMA in Clark County is reporting that on Campbell's Landing Road, one home has been destroyed with at least 2 people injured, and 4 other homes have been damaged. And so that is an initial report coming out of Campbell. There was a tornado warning there about 2 hours ago, and unfortunately we are seeing injuries and significant damage near Campbell. We'll zoom in tight again to this storm that's currently in central Clark County. I see the Weather Service in Birmingham is now triggering a new tornado warning for parts of Chilton, Coosa, Shelby, and Talladega counties. And I'm telling you what, this is unfortunately a long way from being over. The atmosphere is just a tinderbox this afternoon for these thunderstorms, especially across inland areas of southwest Alabama, to really become strong, become severe, and then ultimately produce tornadoes, some of which have been quite intense across the region. Let's see if we can pull up the regional radar view to kind of give you a better vantage point of that. Let's go back over to LD2, please. And again, a tornado outbreak continues across the Deep South this evening. We have a level 5 out of 5 high severe weather risk for parts of west central Alabama, now extending into the northern part of southwest Alabama. I'll show you that in a minute. but this is the type of mess that you get on a high-risk day. These storms are long-tracked, they are severe in nature, and some of them have produced large, violent tornadoes. This is a day that we will remember for quite some time, March 17th, 2021. One thing I haven't said all day, it's St. Patrick's Day, but obviously I can't wear green up here on the weather wall because, again, we are tracking a serious situation across the great state of Alabama with numerous tornado warnings. Let's kind of go through bit by bit and tell you who's involved. Number one, you've got northern Blount and now southern Marshall counties involved in warnings there. New tornado warning in effect for parts of Shelby, Talladega, Coosa, and Chilton counties. You've also got a new tornado warning for parts of Perry and Dallas counties on the western side of west, I should say, of Selma, and then also Wilcox County. That new warning in Wilcox County, we need to zoom in on that because I think that comes mighty close to Camden. Let's go back over to LD1. This does not include the city of Camden, but this does include areas near the dam and also near the reservoir there. I believe it's the Danley Reservoir, if I'm not mistaken, the Bill Danley Reservoir. Nasty thunderstorm could be producing a tornado, perhaps even a strong tornado, across the northern part of Wilcox counties. But again, county, I should say. This does not include Camden. By the way, we can give you a tornado all clear at this point, at least temporarily anyway, for Pine Hill, Yellow Bluff, back down to Atkinson, and also Sunny South. Those areas are now behind this advancing storm that's lifting off to the northeast in Wilcox County. All right, let's check on our circulation in Clark. Take me back over to the iPad. And again, we're looking at this situation right here. This is a storm that is likely producing gusty winds coming into areas near Fulton, Dickinson, also Springfield. This also is going to come very near the Thomasville Industrial Park, which is on the south side of Thomasville out here near Bassett's Creek. Also, this is going to be near Old Highway 5, which runs parallel to US Highway 43, right in through here in northern Clark County over the next 5 to 10 minutes. But the good news is, at this point, I do not see an imminent threat of a developing tornado. This, no doubt about it, this is producing gusty winds, maybe even producing damaging winds in northern Clark County. But right now, this remains below the status in which the Weather Service would choose to issue a tornado warning. And so that certainly is a good thing. Let's go back over one final time to our LD1 product. And we'll put the radar in motion because, again, this narrow corridor in West Alabama is where we have the level 5 out of 5 severe weather risk. Last time that happened was 7 years ago, back in April of 2014. We're going to be watching these storms across Conecuh, Monroe, and Escambia counties here in South Alabama, but as of now, all of that action remains below severe limits. Same thing, by the way, back in Washington County. These storms that continue to move into Clark County, they were really organizing there for a good bit, but it looks like now these storms in Washington County remain fairly weak and are not rapidly organizing like some of the storms that have preceded them. And so that certainly is a good thing. Again, one final time, we'll zoom into our storm in Clark County. Very loud thunder likely happening at Grove Hill, Chilton, Fulton, Springfield, Dickinson, along US Highway 43 and Alabama Highway 154. But no imminent tornado risk. And I tell you, it's kind of broadening out, which is a great thing. So let's go to the graphics, and then we're going to get out of your hair and take a break because, again, no active tornado warnings for any part of South Alabama and Northwest Florida. But we do have this ongoing significant risk of severe weather into the overnight hours. It is not over, all right? Not over, not even close. And I realize it's been kind of a nice, muggy day, per se, for many parts of our region. You may be wondering, Spinks, what in the world is going on? I haven't had severe weather. And you won't for quite some time, potentially, especially near the coast. But in the overnight hours, we could see this line of storms that we're tracking back over Mississippi move across our area and produce more in the way of tornadoes. But something you certainly rarely see, a level 5 out of 5 risk for Choctaw, Washington, Clark, Wilcox, Marengo counties, points north, involved in that rare risk. I mean, just look at that. That is something you just never, ever see. And indeed, it's been a day that has warranted that, which is that level 5 out of 5 risk. By the way, here's a look at the projected radar over the next few hours. We thought that we would see more in the way of storm action here over south central Alabama. The good news is that has not materialized. All right, so the good news is we may not have as significant of a tornado risk for south central Alabama if those trends continue. It doesn't take much to change one of these trends on these significant severe weather days, but we certainly will be watching that line of storms that is developing back to our west across parts of Mississippi. Again, watch what happens. We'll put this into motion, and you'll see that this line of storms is going to approach the Alabama-Mississippi state line as we get towards 8 and 9 o'clock, maybe even sooner than that, before working its way into West Alabama first. And then behind that line, we'll be able to give you a severe weather all clear. Damaging winds, tornadoes, hail, and flash flooding will all be possible until we get that main line of storms out of our specific area. And so, on that note, because we have no active tornado warnings, let's go and finish on LD1. We're going to say goodbye for now. We're going to take a break, but plenty more coverage coming up over the next few hours. I have a sneaking suspicion that we will be back with more in the way of tornado warnings in the hours ahead. On behalf of all of us at Red Zone Group LLC, I'm meteorologist Spinks Meganson alongside executive producer Bruce Thompson saying goodbye for now. I hope you have a good evening. Stay safe.